What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Red's View. Of course, I am your gracious host, J Red, coming to you live and direct. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, if you please can. Subscribe to youtube.com/Reds View. That's youtube.com/R3DS View. Also, make sure that you share this. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the share button. And please hit the like button. Hit that like button or the dislike button. And also on Facebook, if you're watching this, please hit the share button. Also, please hit the like button. You can heart it. You can wow it. You can laugh at it, hit the like, I don't care. Just as long as we get some type of interaction. And most importantly, if you support me, you support my content, and you support the show, make sure that you donate to the Cash App. Donate to the Cash App. Donate to the Cash App. All right, so we're going to get this thing started. If you're watching right now, you see that we're going to be talking about situationships tonight. We're going to do it a little bit different. Some of this, like this particular topic, I've talked about on my show before when it comes to, talking about relationships and different things like that. So I wanted to try something different on tonight. We will be diving into some other stuff that's been going on, but I really wanted to reach out to the women out there, reach out to the guys out there, and then have a discussion tonight based off of these situationships. Because I've talked to, female friends over the past weekend and talked to females periodically about the dating world, the black dating market, and what's going on, especially for millennials. So I think that it'll be a fun topic to discuss tonight. And I'm going to give you some just some insight. I'm not a relationship guru. I'm not a relationship expert, but I have been in the game for a little bit, and I think I can give you a little bit of my expertise. But the first thing, before we dive into that, I want to talk about Jay Ellis bashed on social media for having a white wife. I want to talk about that for a second. So Jay Ellis, right? And I'm just making sure I'm live everywhere. Okay, I got my Facebook. Sorry, I ain't want that sound playing. But yeah. So Jay Ellis from the show Insecure was bashed on social media for having a white wife. Let me go to that real quick. Let me share my screen to go to that article. Let me reload it. Okay. You see right here. Now, I think I've watched like maybe 2 or 3 episodes of Insecure, so I'm not gonna sit here and call myself an Insecure a viewer or a fan or anything. But I'm familiar with the characters. I'm familiar with his character. So just in the news, I saw that he turned off his Instagram comments under wedding photos with his white wife. And I saw this pop up, and it was really interesting to me because I did a show a while ago, maybe a couple of months ago, where I was talking about the criticism, the criticism when black men have white wives and are dating white women, and then black women do the same thing as far as dating white men, and they don't get bashed or scrutinized or anything on social media. So I thought it was very interesting that this came up. And people on social media were reacting to it. So this is the picture with him and his white wife. I forgot her name. It lists in here somewhere, but he put that up there. He turned off the comments, and you see right here, not Jay Ellis turning off the comments, dead. It says y'all harassing Jay Ellis on his Instagram photos of his wedding just because he married a white woman is a little gross for me. She doesn't deserve that, neither does he. Then it says, I respect Jay Ellis turning off the comments, bro. Proactively closed off a channel of disrespect that could be aimed at him, his wife, and his happiness. Protect your peace. Y'all bothering Jay Ellis on his IG is weird. I'm sorry. He's never said anything bad about black women, so who cares? Y'all don't know that, man. And it's just interesting when you look at the response that a black guy gets for dating a white woman or marrying a white woman. It's in complete reverse. Like when a black woman does the same thing. And I'm not against interracial dating. Like I said, I'm one to believe in dating within your race group. But if you choose not to do that, as long as you ain't on no, coon stuff, I ain't worried about it. You do what you got to do. But yeah, that was pretty much that was very, very interesting just to see that. So let's go ahead and dive into what we're going to talk about today on tonight's broadcast. We're going to talk about situationships. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because there's a lot of time wasting going on in the dating world, I feel like, right? And I feel like I have a outlet and a platform to actually discuss it. So I wanted to make sure that I use my platform to put it out there just to have a conversation about it, because it could be some misled people out there that don't know what they're into. So I came up with my own definition of what a situationship is, and I also came up with reasons that you may be in one, or the signs. I came up with like a good 6 or 7 signs to know that you're in a situationship. So the first question is, what is a situationship? Now, if you ask me what a situationship is, I say that it is an unofficial relationship. Everything that you do in a relationship, you pretty much do in a situationship. When you're talking about sex, when you're talking about going out on dates, when you're talking about meeting parents, when you're talking about meeting friends, a whole bunch of that stuff goes within the situationship. It's just that you don't have a title. That's pretty much a lot of what it is. You get into a situation where you go out with somebody, you're kicking it with them, and then before you know it, you're having sex with them, you're spending time with them, spend a lot of time with them. Sometimes you spend little time with them, but it goes nowhere after a while. You end up staying stagnant in the same position, and it really affects women more so, because you always hear stories about, hey, I was with this guy for 5-6 years, and then he left me, and then ended up getting married. Hey, I was with this guy for 5-6 years, and he wasted my time, and all that other stuff, right? So a lot of times we can't help it. Well, we can help it, but we get into these situations that you call situationships. So and like I said, it affects our women a lot more so, because of for some reason, well, we know what the reason is. Women typically are going to commit more when it comes to that, because women usually will stay loyal. They'll stay loyal to that particular individual, even though there isn't any commitment in it, right? So let's go over. I'm going to go over what I feel like the signs are that you're in this situationship. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Signs that you're in this situationship, and I can't wait for the ladies to chime in on this. Fellas, also, if you're watching this too, make sure that you give insight on what you feel like I may be missing out on, or if you agree with me, disagree with me, it's all good as long as you put that in the comments. But if you ask, like, what is the situationship, I explain that. But we're going to talk about the signs of you being in that situationship. The first one is, you have to ask, what are we? You ask, what are we? Now, I'll tell you this, ladies, anytime that you have to ask a guy, what are we? 9 times out of 10, he doesn't look at you in that relationship aspect anyway. You shouldn't ever have to ask a guy, what are we? Reason being is because whatever you are, he would look at you and make a wife out of you. He will make a girlfriend out of you. He knows, everybody knows what they pretty much want in not situations, but out of a relationship. When you're searching for somebody, or you want somebody, you come across someone, they know, and you should be able to know based off of their energy whether or not that they want to have any type of commitment towards you or anything like that. So if you have to ask that question, what are we? What are we doing here? 9 times out of 10. Now, it's okay for clarification. It is perfectly fine. if you're dating if you've been on a couple of dates and stuff like that, and this time has been passing, and you don't want to bum rush them or make them feel uncomfortable or jump into a relationship. But if you have to ask that particular question, 9 times out of 10, it's okay for clarification. You just want to know, like, hey, we've been going out. I just want to know where your head is, what you're thinking about, and that is perfectly fine, right? However, I know when I'm interested into someone, and it's rare. Sometimes it could be a situation to where you're not thinking about dating per se. You're just out having a good time, and then eventually that person could grow on you. But that, come on, we can be real. That doesn't happen all the time like that. But asking that question, what are we? 9 times out of 10, if you have to ask that, that person isn't looking at you in that particular light anyway. So you shouldn't be having to ask the question. If they have that genuine interest in you, oh, they'll let it be known. They'll definitely let it be known. So that's the first thing. All right. Second thing, you start out as the side piece. If you start out as the side piece, meaning this, right? If a guy, or it could be a girl too, like say if somebody's married, say somebody's in a relationship, and then you're the side piece, right? Y'all are both comfortable with it. Y'all had a conversation about it. You don't need to be misled to make you feel that that person will leave their significant other for you, right? You don't need to be in that aspect of, okay, willingly that you're the side piece. That person is not going to leave their significant other to be with you. They're not. If they are doing that, then that should let you know the type of person that they are. And if y'all start dating, they can end up doing the same thing to you. But sometimes we get into those situations to where we're on the side and we're hopeful that they're going to break up, because they'll tell you that they're having problems with their wife, their husband, and all this other stuff. And then you're just on the side and you're thinking that you're going to get a gift at the end of the day, like by being with them. And it's not going to happen. So you'll be in a forever situationship with that situation. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're calling you their girlfriend or their boyfriend or anything like that. A person, now, if you believe in the polygamy aspect, you could have 2 girlfriends, 2 boyfriends, or whatever you want to call that. But typically, no. If you start out as that side piece, you will forever be that side piece and will forever be in a situationship. That's number 2. All right, number 3, what I came up with. If you've been dating this person for 6 months, I'm going to say 6 months, and they haven't given you any type of commitment or any confirmation of a commitment or any idea of commitment in the future, then you're in a situationship without question. Within 6 months. Now, this is not saying that, hey, if they're like, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious, I just want to hang. And then if you want to still sleep with them and you want to still be around them in hopes that they change their mind, I'm not talking about that situation, right? I'm talking about this situation to where they're telling you they're open to dating, they want to date you, and they have interest in you, right? If you're dating that person and within 6 months time span, don't let it go to a year, because you're going to be wasting your time. But if you go into that situation and it's in a 6-month time span, and whether female or male, they're not talking about a relationship, they're not talking about commitment. Anytime you do bring it up, they kind of try to change the subject and all that stuff. You need to run fast. 6 months is long enough for some people to get married. But if you're in that situation and 6 months have passed and you don't have any signs of any type of commitment or anything like that, you need to go ahead and get ghosts. So that's the third thing. Fourth thing, they don't take you anywhere significant. They don't take you anywhere significant. Now, what do you mean by that? When we're talking about taking you anywhere significant, all right, obviously it'll be times where if a person doesn't want to take you anywhere, if they don't want to take you anywhere, of course, you could look at that and be like, okay, I must, they must not have interest in me and stuff like that. But it could be situations where that person isn't a social person. Maybe that person is a homebody. Maybe that person prefers to stay at the crib more or spend time with you at home or at the house or don't like to be in the public. You know what I'm saying? The pandemic really helped a lot of people out with that. But those situations to where, y'all are not going anywhere, right? Taking you anywhere significant. When I say that, I'm not talking about the regular fast food. I mean, the regular food restaurants like Cheesecake Factory, the Oyster House, or taking you somewhere, out for dinner. I'm talking about anywhere significant like events. Like if you're not going on, not saying you have to do this, but if you're not going on any trips, if you're not going to any concerts together, if you're not um, going to any type of social events together, right? Like if you're not going, like simple stuff like golfing, you know what I'm saying? Like doing activities. If you've never done anything like that, in addition to them not actually taking you anywhere, then yeah, you're definitely in that situationship. You're definitely in a situationship if that's the case. All right, next. They don't spend time with you. Now, this kind of coincides with what I just talked about. If they don't take you out anywhere, but spending time, right? If you're only spending time with them on a like 1 day out the week basis. Now I know work can get involved, people are busy, people have different lives and different things like that, right? But if you're only seeing that person one time out the week, and when it comes to spending time, you usually see them when it comes to sex or if it just comes to kick it at the crib and stuff like that, but you don't see them like on the regular. To me, if you're really into a person, you're going to see them a couple of times out the week. Couple of times meaning from 2 to 3 to whenever. If you really like that person and enjoy their company, you're going to be making time for them for one, and then try to be around them as much as you can. Not saying that you're going to smother them and invade their space and things like that. However, you're going to make time for them. So if they're not spending time with you and they're spending time with their boys or their girls and different things like that, then you're definitely in that situationship. Next, this is a big one, and I'm gonna take a sip to that. They use their job as an excuse. They use their job as an excuse. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, you have professions, right? If you're like a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you work in film. I remember working in film, or actually working in film, you'll work 12 to 14-hour days. If you got jobs like that, of course, it'll be kind of hard with your schedule. If you're in school, sometimes it's hard with your schedule and things like that, right? But some people use their job as an excuse not to be around somebody. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of people will do that. They say, okay, I'm too busy, I'm real tired, I don't feel like going anywhere. Can you just come over and we can just kick it or whatever like that? Let's Netflix and chill. Let's order a pizza. Let's order Uber Eats, because that's a big thing now. It's a lot of things that are mobile to where you don't really have to leave the house, but a lot of people will use that as an excuse not to actually go anywhere. So when people use their job as an excuse not to do certain things or hang with you and things like that, more than likely you in that situationship. And the last thing that I got, and y'all feel free to chime in on this one. If you're a baby mama or a baby daddy, if you're a baby mama or a baby daddy, preferably, and the reason I'm saying this is because of this. If y'all weren't in a relationship and y'all were having sex, especially unprotected sex, if y'all were not in a relationship beforehand, more than likely you will not be in a relationship after that. If you were not in a relationship beforehand, after you have a child, nothing will probably change after that. Not unless the individual or individuals want to say, hey, let's try to work this out since we have children or have a child. God forbid if it's more children, but let's try to work this out. Let's try to work this out for the benefit of the child. That's a different situation. But typically, if y'all were having that unprotected sex and there was no commitment before that, and you became a baby mama, you will always be that baby mama. If you wanted her, you know what I'm saying, eventually, and then y'all end up getting pregnant together, you will always be that baby daddy. Well, sometimes it'll change. It's different when it comes between men and women. But typically, if you're a baby mama, when it comes to that, typically that dude is not going to change up or try to commit to you, not unless he wants the betterment of the child. So if you're a baby mama, meaning that, because some people will, you could be a baby mama, like, you know, if you were in a relationship and y'all were, you know, actually dating, and like I said, you were in a relationship, you had that title, and y'all end up getting pregnant, and then y'all still a boyfriend and girlfriend. Now, he didn't marry you, or he's not going to marry you, you know what I'm saying? But it's essential to know that if there's no commitment, a child isn't going to typically change anything. That's very important to know. Some women, and men too, can think that, okay, we have a child, that's going to change things. And trust me, you know, it ain't just me. It's a lot of different examples out there of people who have children and nothing changes. They stay in that situationship, and or they stay boyfriend or girlfriend, and then it ends up, you know, coming into nothing. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Shout out to everybody for watching right now. Shout out to everybody for watching. We're talking about situationships, how to know if you're in one. I just gave you my signs of them, but just to go over them again for those who are just now joining, my seven signs that you're in that situationship. One, you have to ask, what are we? Two, you start out as the side piece. Three, you've been dating for 6 months without any commitment, any talk about commitment, or any future talk about commitment. Number four, they don't take you anywhere significant. This goes with, you know, taking you out to, not just out to eat, not just out to dinner, lunch, or whatever, but events. Like, do y'all go, you know, to Top Golf? Do y'all go to a concert together? Do y'all go axing? Do y'all do anything that's outside of the norm, or just going out to eat? You know what I'm saying? And grabbing drinks. All right, number five, they don't spend time with you or spend limited time with you, right? Typically, like I said, if you're into somebody, I'm not saying that you're going to spend as much time as, you know, you're going to spend as much time as you can, but you're not going to crowd their space, but you're going to make time for them. A lot of times people put stuff beforehand and act like they're so busy and different things like that, but they don't spend time with you or limited time with you. Next, they use their job as an excuse, meaning that, hey, you know that I work long hours. Hey, you know that I got this business. I'm busy. But they still manage to make time to get what they want out of you. Meaning that you come over, you know, they text you all day and different things like that, right? And next, the last one is a baby mama situation. Now, don't get it twisted. When it comes to y'all going somewhere, right? Because I want to go back to y'all don't go anywhere. A guy can take you anywhere. And y'all can attest to this. Man, I know plenty of dudes who don't mind spending money because they got it. I know I've seen guys tricking off just because they have the money. Dudes will break you off some bread. Dudes will take you a lot of different places. Dudes will introduce you to their mama, meet your mama, and then you think that, okay, you're special in a certain type of situation. And it's like, nah, they could do that with anybody. Girls can do the same thing. Women can do the same thing. So you just have to be cognizant of that, like that just because they're taking you out to eat or sending you on a shopping spree, breaking you off some bread, that does not mean that they look at you in a light of, hey, I want to commit to this person, because they could do all that with you simply for the fact because they have money. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right, so those are mine. Feel free to comment and give me what y'all think. You know, are the situations, how do you know if you're in a situationship and different things like that? Because I would love to hear feedback, and hopefully you can use this as a tool to not be in those situations and get out, right? Because it could be a time wasting tactic. It could be a real time wasting tactic to be in these situations, because you know what? Nothing comes from them. You end up being in these situations for a long period of time. And like I said, women will typically commit to that particular individual. Women will commit to a guy. They'll cut off every guy they're talking to in hopes that the guy who may not be interested in having a relationship with them will change their mind. Women will stay in these situationships in hopes, without him even saying anything. They can say, hey, you know, I don't really want to, you know, we can kick it, we can chill, we can go out and different things like that, but I don't want a girlfriend right now. You know, without them even saying I'm looking for one in the future, or maybe, maybe it'll go in the, you know, in the future we could do whatever. But you start staying in that situationship for 1 year, then 2 years comes, and 3 years comes, and 4 years come, and you start looking at yourself like, damn, like I didn't hit 30, 31, and I've been in this same thing in hopes that something will change. You know, but typically before you hit 30, women, by the time they hit 30, they wise up and don't be in that. They're very direct at that point. But ways to avoid it, I suggest that you stay upfront with what your intentions are. Typically, if you tell a guy, hey, what are your intentions on what you want to do with me? What are your intentions? I've had that happen before, and it could scare a guy off. You could be like, okay, well, she's on her shit. I can't just get, because I've had situations where I know that I don't want to really date that girl. I just want to get a number, just want to chop it up with her, and then hopefully have sex with her, or hopefully just kick it. But I know I don't want to be in a relationship with them. But women start wising up, and women will be like, what are your intentions with me? And then that puts us on the spot, and you just like, damn, either you can lie about it, or you can just say, okay, I'm good. You know, you good. I don't even want to deal with that. So I say dating with a purpose. And also, you have to hold yourself accountable, ladies. And guys too, this could pertain to you, but you have to really be careful on how you carry yourself, how you present yourself on social media, how you present yourself in public outings, how you present yourself anywhere. Meaning that if a guy looks at you and your Instagram page and he sees you twerking, that's pretty much asking to be in a situationship. If I look at your Instagram, your lives, you know what I'm saying? And this is really critical. When I be seeing those green bubbles on some of y'all's Instagrams in the stories, when you see the green bubbles where it's close friends, I already know what's gonna happen. Typically, it's gonna show somebody twerking that they don't want somebody else to see. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they family or different people like that. Or they're sharing something about sex. You know what I'm saying? That happens often. Now, it's not always that. Sometimes you make it be, you know, if you work a corporate job and you're drinking, or if you work with kids and you're drinking, you don't want to show that in your story and different things like that. But presentation is everything. And most importantly, you got to date with a purpose. You definitely got to date with a purpose. But yeah, that's what I have for that. Now, I want to touch on a couple of other things real quick. So Sesame Street Anti-Black Racism. For those who haven't been hip to what's been going on, Sesame Place, I think that's like I'm not sure if it's a theme park in Philadelphia, or I mean they have them in different spots of America or whatever. But let me show you this video. The reason that I say Sesame Street Anti-Black Racism is because these puppets walking down the street deliberately going over black children. They high-fiving the white kids and hugging the white kids and stuff like that. When it comes to the black kids, they ignore them. Let me show you this on Brother Tariq Nasheed's page real quick. Let me show this for you. So look at this. So you see, see, this is like a parade. You see what happened? Look at those girls are hurt. Look at this. See, he's dapping up the white kids. High five. No. And said no. Right? And I'll read what they said about it later. This is another instance. Look at this. See that? Black kid runs up, try to get a hug, something, and then she just ignore it. Look at this. And it's the same character. I don't know what they call him.
Who said it's okay, Big Bird? That girl that was on the front.
Hey. Look at that.
He wanted to down. He wanted to hop.
Look at that. Look at that one more time.
Hey, hey, hey.
Dapping up all the kids before this black child.
Hey.
Walking right past. And look at this. One more. Just ignoring the black child. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, man. So that anti-black racism that we've been seeing, I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm going to read to you, and you can see it right here, what Sesame Street said. This is their response to it. Our brand, our park, and our employees stand for inclusivity and equality in all forms. This is what Sesame Place is all about, and we do not tolerate any behaviors in our parks that are contrary to that commitment. We also are and have always been committed to make sure every family and every child has the best possible experience at our parks, and we are incredibly disappointed, blah, 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 blah. Now, look what they said. The costumes our performers wear sometimes make it difficult to see at lower levels, and sometimes our performers miss hug requests from guests. And the performer portraying the Rosita character, I'm gonna say Rosita, has confirmed that they did the no. You remember the video I just showed you where they went to the black kids and said no. They said the no hand gesture seen several times in the video was not directed to any specific person. Rather, it was a response to multiple requests from someone in the crowd who asked Rosita to hold their child for a photo, which is not permitted. And a lot of people are calling BS to that. A lot of us are calling BS to that. Kelly Rowland, she's one of the celebrities that actually went on the Sesame Place page and was, basically calling it out. I see Jay, what's her name? Young Miami from the City Girl. She has something to say about it. But I think what should happen is that we should light fire under them, make sure that we air out the frustrations. If it needs to be protesting anything to shut that down, we should actually do that. That'll be practically easy to let them know who they messing with. It just hurts my heart to see those black children be so disappointed. Like, those babies will be traumatized from that. You're seeing this character that you watch on TV, that you grow up, you're seeing them in books and everything like that. And you see them dapping up the other children, high-fiving, hugging the other children, and you're waving. They don't even look your way. You don't even have to high-five, but they don't even look your way. You see how hurt those black children's faces were? Like that was terrible, but that was very upsetting just to see. And there's really no way to prevent racism per se, but we can do something about them being able to practice their racism or display their racism. So yeah, when stuff like this happen, we need to raise hell, hold them accountable, and talk to them and put pressure up on them, because that didn't make no sense, man. That didn't make no sense. But yeah, man, I'm not surprised about it at all, And the thing is, if we were really tripping, there wouldn't be plenty of videos to actually show the anti-black racism that they do at Sesame Place. So we need to light some fire up under them for real, for real. We need to light some fire up under them for real, for real. But yeah, that's it. I didn't want to stay on for too long tonight. Got some other stuff that I'm working on. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/ResView. Also, make sure that you hit the share button, hit the like button, everything like that. I may go live a little later on this week to talk about some other stuff. But yeah, like I said, make sure you subscribe, comment, let me know. Am I tripping for the situationships? And y'all can talk about your experiences as well in this. But anyway, this is J Red ResView. I got to go. Signing out.